Chris.
I'm Chris. There's another one in the room too.
For sure.
Anyway, good to see you again.
You too.
Again, like we wanted to say last time we talked, it was just to start off on something casual. You were in the process of moving.
Yeah.
All right.
I must have been moving from Midtown Houston to out to Westbury. If this was Colorado Anime Fest.
Yeah.
So basically, what that means is I'm around a lot fewer D-bags now, and I pay a lot less in rent, which is awesome because I'm also making a lot more money now.
Oh,
It's a great equation.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Saving more, making more.
Yes.
So what projects are you working on right now?
I just got back from Los Angeles where I did 80 hours as the lead in a new video game.
Oh, sweet.
Can you talk about it yet?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. No, I cannot, but it's gonna be really fun. I think almost every guest at this convention is like 3 of them are also in the game. And while I was there, I did 6 hours on, I can say this, on an anime called Skip Beats.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I play an episodic character that has an arc that goes over about 3 episodes. Really fun. I just can't, we just can't say names yet,
right,
but they said please talk about Skip Beats. So I did have a lot. I was directed by Taliesin Jaffe, who I love him. But this is so Taliesin, by the way. He couldn't direct me the second day because he had to get ready for Burning Man. So Melody directed me on the second day, and she's super wonderful.
Was he already ready for Burning Man? I mean, do you have his the whole outfit? Spirit
No.
I just imagine.
Like Taliesin would do that. Also, Taliesin clued me into. He's like, dude, because he knows I love coffee houses. He's like, go in Hollywood to the Bourgeois Pig, and I'm like, it's the greatest coffee house ever.
In Hollywood?
Yeah, it's called the Bourgeois Pig on Franklin Avenue.
All right.
It's the best coffee house I've ever been to. It's so cool.
Gotcha. We're thinking about going to Akiba Fest or out to AX next year.
Okay. Yeah.
2 months ago, I guess.
So I did that. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing a new show at Funimation.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Right.
I just, let's see, Sentai-wise, what have I been doing there recently?
I've got a bunch of releases.
Last time we talked, you were doing more book work, if I remember.
Oh, that is done.
Oh, yeah?
I'm done. I killed it. I shot through the heart, and I'm to blame. I'm done with the book work. It has destroyed parts of my soul and my psyche.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And I'm done with it. I'm done with audiobooks. After 136 years of it, I'm fine. I got some awards, got really good reviews, and I'm done. I'm done having it chip away at my life.
Any there that you'd stick out as favorites?
I mean, The Dorito Effect is a great book. That book got me awards and great reviews, mainly because it's very well written. It's a nonfiction book that basically ties America's obesity epidemic to the invention of the Dorito chip.
Really?
Yeah, and by way of talking about how part of what has destroyed America is that we don't eat real flavors anymore. Everything we eat is a manufactured fake, and we don't get filled up from those fake flavors, so we stuff our pie holes with all this garbage.
Yeah.
And they said that really you can trace that back to the creation of the Dorito, because it was the first junk food that was supposed to taste like other things, and it's fascinating. It's so cool too. It was so cool to narrate that. Also, I've done a couple of dystopian zombie type series that have been very good to me and very cool. I also got to narrate Clive Barker, part of Clive Barker's Books of Blood. It's Clive Barker, so I'm
So, you're in it, yeah.
Yeah, so, there's been some cool things, but I'm done.
So, are you, purely Sentai and Funimation now, or?
And LA.
And LA?
I'm basically going to be splitting my time between Texas and Los Angeles.
Los Angeles? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Listen, here's the thing.
It's okay, because I went there and I was like, oh, this is a great place. I would never live here, but it's
but let me tell you, I think LA is magical. So here's the thing: I want to go there and make the wonderful LA money and pay my beautiful Houston, Texas rent. And another thing is that everything that I feel that is magical about LA, I'm afraid that if I moved there, it would wear.
Oh, it'd be the magic is gone, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not special anymore.
Yeah. So if I go there 6 or 7 times a year to work. But if I move there, I feel and I love Houston. It's my swamp. I'm Shrek. It's my swamp.
Yeah, I identify. Family's from there.
Yeah, so it is a swamp, but it's my swamp.
I love it. Yeah,
I love it. I love Houston. So
originally from Galveston, so.
Galveston is like my heart. I love Galveston. And people were like, yeah, but the beach. You don't go to Galveston for the beach. You don't go to Galveston for the beach. You go for the historic Strand District. You go for the Pleasure Pier. You go for Mardi Gras. Don't go for the beach. You're missing the point. Just saying. Also, like, haunted Galveston is fascinating. Like, Galveston is Galveston, a lot of people don't know this, used to be called the Manhattan of the South until the 1900 storm. When, like, it used to be like one of the most thriving ports in the nation, and then the 1900 storm happened and decimation.
And then it was gone.
We built a wall after that. But
So, you want to hear something crazy? An aunt of mine she passed about a decade or so ago. Have you heard about the old Balinese room?
That sounds familiar.
Okay, so there was, back during Prohibition, the Balinese room was this club out over the water, and it was one of those places where things would flip. Like when the police okay, she was the girl, like this 16-year-old girl who worked at the front, that when the police would check in, she would call to the back and be like, flip, 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 and they would flip all the gambling and all the booze over to where it looked like a nice, respectable place. And I'm like, oh my God, what? Yeah.
That's so cool.
Crazy. Yeah. So yeah, I love the Galveston, Houston area. Love it. I don't think I ever want to live anywhere else, but I love Los Angeles so much. It's funny because like so many actors are like, New York City. I'm like, no, I've lived in New York. I don't like it. I've lived there. It's fine to visit if you're into small, dirty, cramped places. But
Hamilton.
Hamilton. Okay. But like In the Heights, does anyone remember that show? Like my thing about Hamilton that just angers me a little is that people seem to have forgotten that like he wrote this beautiful musical like 5 years ago called In the Heights that is incredible. So yes, I'm sure Hamilton. I haven't seen Hamilton, but I'm already tired of hearing about it. I'm sure it's wonderful. I'm sure Lin-Manuel Miranda is a genius, and I love that it's very ethnically diverse, and like the choreography looks very cool and all that. But
yeah, and lyrically, it's like amazing.
Well, lyrically, it's probably perfection because he's like a rapper who studied with Stephen Sondheim. You can't ask for a better lyrical marriage than that. But I'm sure when I see Hamilton, I'll explode and be like, oh my God. But right now, I'm just tired of hearing about it. But anyway, my whole point is, as much as some actors nerd out over New York, I've always been a West Coast guy. Which is funny because I've actually lived in New York. And New York and I are not.
So that's kind of like why you're kind of tentative about living in LA.
Texan, I identify.
You identify with that state.
I identify with that state.
It's my George Bush now. Yeah. No, I get why people are in love with New York. It's just I'm in love with the West Coast.
Fair enough.
I'd probably go west over east. I've dealt with a lot of assholes from the East Coast.
Oh, and after having lived in the Mid-Atlantic for 2 years, and having lived in New York, and spent time in the Berkshires, and I get what's pretty about the East Coast, but I don't want to live there.
No offense to anyone on the East Coast.
No.
It's just my experience.
Listen, DC and Annapolis were great for 2 years, then I had to get out. But my ex is still there, by the way, he's kicking ass in DC. He is now, check this out, my ex is now the head of policymaking for the Department of Labor in DC. And he has an office that overlooks the Pentagon, and like he makes bank, and he lives in Alexandria in a condo. I'm like, good ex, good for you. No,
We're not friends, jealous, just hearing about it.
No, we are friends. And we both became much more successful after we broke up. So if you're not successful right now, break up with your current partner. Life advice, Chris Patton, 2016.
Perfect.
No.
So, do you have any future projects that you're looking at working on, or anything you can talk about?
But I can talk about, but we can never talk about them.
No,
I will tell you that I'm getting really antsy about. I have like chocolate under my fingernails from. What's happening? I am. I don't like when things get under my fingernails.
That's fair.
Okay, we like Monica and myself and Lucy, we're all chomping at the bit because we have this suspicion that a fourth Full Metal Panic is like right around the corner. Because it's happening in Japan. It's like happening right now. We're like, it's gotta be.
No, we were going to talk this
Yeah.
week. Yeah, no, we were going to talk. I rewatched some of that this week.
Right, and so we know that Funimation would probably get the license, and of course they would cast the whole cast.
They better.
Because they have access to all of us.
Right. And they always do a good job of like bringing the same people
back.
Yeah,
they're really good about that.
Yeah.
And I think we're all like kind of like, we'll like message, have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? We're always the last to hear, by the way. Oh, we're so ready.
Oh, yeah.
All of us are ready. Lucy still lives in Houston, and she and I, whenever we do talk, we're like, so, Full Metal Panic. Yeah. In fact, the last time Lucy and I were at the Houston Cure concert together, and she was one section over me, and this is the world we live in now. Instead of like going up and talking to each other, we tweeted about the Cure concert to each other at the Cure concert. Hey, so how are your seats? Like I could see her, like, oh, this is cool, yeah. Losers. Anyway, but yeah, that's the other thing is also, one of the questions I always get, especially from fans, not so much from these guys, is like, what's it like working with Lucy Christian? What's it like working with Vic Mignogna? What's it like working with...
It's just like
I don't know. I don't know. Because we don't work together. And the only time we see, we don't.
It's like the beer behind the microphone in the studio.
And like sometimes we'll hear each other's voices, sometimes, but typically, no. And like I know that there are some voices like my voice gels with better than others, and like I know that Monica Real and I make good couple, and Lucy Christian and I make good couple.
Lucy.
I do too. Princess Tuto? That's not what it's called. It's called Princess Tutu. Princess Tutu and all the others that we've done together. But we don't work together. And all I can ever tell people is like they're cool to hang out with at conventions. And I guess a couple of them I've done theater with Monica, like quite a bit of theater with Monica, and Monica's stupid talented. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Also,
So
Monica and I used to date back in the 90s. Fun fact. Hello Kitty and Dear Daniel actually were boyfriend and girlfriend. Before Dear Daniel discovered he liked
BentoByte exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, really? Huh.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And yes. Anyway, sorry, y'all probably have questions if you'd like to ask.
No, actually, it was just
No,
for
we're
us.
really
We asked.
casual.
We pretty much bombarded you with everything we could possibly think of back when we did our first interview. So we just wanted to
Kind of shoot the shit.
Right on.
He thought of an awesome question for you, and I want to run this one by you. He
Okay.
said,
Okay.
if you had to be an animal in like an animated feature, what would the animal be?
like Pixar or something.
Well, you like a voice?
Yeah.
Oh my, how much would I love that? Of all. I have a couple of friends that regularly work for like Disney and Pixar and whatever, and like they have good lives. And they get to work on those awesome movies. What would I want to be? I would want to be a cat that plays the synthesizer in a new wave band. That's gonna happen.
We've been doing nothing but listening to like synth pop and new wave stuff like over the past like yeah.
It's kind of hard.
Gunship, Perturbator, like
Perturbator,
yeah.
They're actually naming synth pop bands I have not heard of, which Laser Hawk.
Laser Hawk, yeah. Well, things like that, like you know.
New retro wave. Like
Yeah.
the guys who did the soundtrack for Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, Survive.
They're from
Yeah.
Austin, by the way.
They are.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, did you
They're
get
my
that
first-
soundtrack when it came out? Oh, that's
No,
cool.
but like my friend who owns a club in Austin, it's a club where like they broke.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh, I know these guys. I'm like, shut up, John. But no, I will get it.
You
'Cause
should get it.
I love new retro wave, and I love Stranger
It's
Things.
basically like a very dark new retro wave like album.
Perturbator is just
Super
like my favorite. It's like dark. It seems like
It's like if heavy rock got transcribed.
it's like what I would imagine like a shitty dystopian society soundtrack.
Yes, it's like
Yeah.
if Phil Collins made an
Super
80s album with all synthesizers and had a Vicodin problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't write slug lines. Maybe I should.
Well, you should.
Maybe I should.
Yeah, you should change that.
Write that up and then read over it.
Oh, that, yeah,
Come
right.
back to the audiobook scene.
Right. So do y'all listen to Holy Ghost?
Yes.
Yes.
I saw them open for New Order.
Oh, sweet.
In Maryland at the post to the whatever at some great venue in Maryland. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been trying to see if there's some new shows that are going to be coming around this way. It's just the new wave hasn't exactly.
Well, although the day that Weston and I landed here for this con, Tame Impala was at Red Rocks, and of course I was like, I'm getting tickets. It's sold out.
Yeah, no, that's the thing with Red Rocks. It's like as soon as they're on sale, like people buy them like immediately.
You have to know.
Like Riot Fest is coming out right now, which I'm missing, which I'm a little like, but I'm happy to be here.
And I would imagine the new wave acts that come through here either play the giant venues or the tiny ones.
Exactly, which is why you gotta get it like right when it gets announced, which is half the problem.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
but anyway,
Good morning.
are we out?
Stop talking.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got to wrap up.
All right.
Okay,
let's-
go ahead.
Last one we had, maybe I had one more serious question.
Sure.
Which I was trying to think of, which was, has there ever been a character that it felt like it was hard for you to get in like character for? I know that kind of sounded a bit redundant. Or one that you thought you were interested in doing, but thought it might be kind of like to get in the role for. Anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, there are characters that surprise you sometimes because you think it's right in your wheelhouse, but then there's something about them that's not, and it kind of throws you off. But that's fun. I look at that as a challenge. Actually, this character I just played in Skip Beat, I watched the the Japanese episode before, and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna kill this, and I did. But before I killed it, Taliesin and I did kind of, the voice wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I threw out this voice in the first season. He's like, I like what you're doing, but let's actually, and I'm like, really?
It's not kind of like a backhanded compliment. It's like, I like what
No,
you're
no,
doing,
no,
now
no,
just change it.
because it was like, it really came down to, that's a good voice, but I as the director, I think this augmentation would sell it better, and he was totally right.
Yeah.
That's why he's the director,
Right.
and I'm like, okay, but it was not what I originally had in my head, and I'm like, that's cool. But as far as roles being hard, I'll be really honest with you, after 18 years of dubbing anime, no role is really hard anymore.
Fair enough.
And I hate it, that sounds dickish, but I'm sorry. It's like,
You got the experience to back it up.
it's
That's
very
fine.
hard. The hardest thing I did recently was, if you watch Dimension W, I played Haruka Seemeyer.
Yeah.
That was kind of hard, because he was real high up on my register, and he was like a 16-year-old psychopath that for the last couple of episodes screamed a lot. And that was a little bit difficult, but it was really fun too.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we gotta wrap this up. But
Awesome.
It's great
Thank
to
you
see
so
you.
much.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
great to see you again.
And we'll see you guys next time.
In darkness when there's no more light that you can see, I'll take us back to times when lives were similar and times that all seemed easy.